Hey, what's going on, brethren? Thanks for tuning in to another dialogue with the raw, the real, and the red pill. And I happened to come across a great video under the BGS Ibmor channel, Dr. BGS, and he had featured Kendra D. And, they were speaking on the child support system and pretty much how the system works, and it just led me to want to speak on my particular experience with child support, how the state did me concerning it. I do have a woman. I'm not legally married for many reasons, which we don't need to get into. But she's under my dominance, and we do pretty much have a nuclear family. If you had listened to some of my videos in the past, when I first created this channel, I kind of dwelled into a part in time where I was incarcerated for a few months, and that's around the time where I experienced child support. You know what I mean? Before I was incarcerated, that was back in my UPS ground days. Yep, the Raw used to be a UPSer, tossing packages on your porch and whatnot. I was paying over $300 a month in child care for my child every week. We didn't really utilize the state. And upon me being incarcerated, I wasn't able to make them payments because I wasn't working. I had about $4,000 to my name. As the handcuffs were being put on me, I handed my woman my wallet with all my cards and whatnot, shared with her my PIN codes, and pretty much that. A lot of that got wasted on lawyers for bail motions that didn't work. Went to 3 bail motions, and they made me sit. And it got to the point where the money was damn near becoming exhausted after maybe 30 days. And came a point where my woman had to quit her job because she couldn't afford the child care and all the bills. Women do need their men. So I was in jail, and we was on the phone, and she had told me that she applied for TANF, TANF, TANF. And I couldn't knock it. She told me that it would cover the child care expenses and whatnot. And I figured it would be a good idea because I can't be selfish, There's no income coming in the house. I'm not working. I was the sole provider for the most part. The money she made pretty much would cover child care alone. What about the food? What about the utilities? What about, the car notes and stuff like that? So, I didn't have a problem with it, and I actually encouraged her to go ahead and seek some assistance from the state to go ahead and put me on TANF, for my daughter, so her daycare expenses can be reduced. And all was fine and well, and maybe I sat for about 4 months, and I took a plea deal, but within my last couple weeks in jail, I was talking to my woman every day, but she had brought to my attention that I had got child support enforcement papers in the mail, and she was a little bit perplexed on why, child support had got involved, because from what she claimed, she never put me on it. And when I came home, all got situated. Me and her went up to the child support office in person on more than one occasion. And this is something that Kendra D had kind of broke down. But TANF, all these benefit programs work hand in hand with child support enforcement. TANF had forwarded the case to the child support enforcement, and my woman had even put down the wrong social security number under my name on the application for the TANF. This is not something she wanted to do. But they eventually, it slowed them down a little bit, but they eventually, you know, found out the right social security number and found out where I worked. And we, like I said, we went to the child support office, and they broke down how it all works. And I remember going in that place, and I never want to ever go back again, because it is a very to be a man in the child support office. It's everyone hates you. That's the best way I can put it. I'm sitting there with the mother of my child and my child, and you know, of course, there's a bunch of single mothers in there. There's a bunch of women who work there, and there was no love, nor cooperation, nor sanctity of peace that was exhibited towards me as a man in that office. And I remember going to the back and sitting down with the I guess the caseworker for the child support enforcement for my woman's specific case. It was an overweight white woman, and she was pretty much encouraging, in front of me, was encouraging my woman to put me on child support, to actually fully on put me on. Because what they wanted to do at first, and all that they was requiring, is that all the money that was paid through the TANF was to be repaid by me. And, you know, that's cool. Whatever. You know. At the time, when I first got out of jail, I had, of course, lost a job at UPS Ground. It was kind of at ground zero, and I went to a company that didn't perform background checks at this time. This is only a couple years ago. And I began driving a rear load residential trash trucks for this company. You know, probably one of the worst jobs I've ever done. Pretty filthy, you know. Humble beginnings, new humble beginnings, you know. Well, you know, you got a family, you got to do what you got to do. So, you know, I was going to landfills, dumping these cans, had my little helper on the back of the truck. You know, I even spent some time on the back of the truck on some days, you know. But it paid about $1,000 a week. Probably see about $700 out of that. And, you know, thank the Most High, I didn't have to do that for more than 7 months. I wound up getting a better job. That's when I went to Cisco, Baltimore. But besides the point, while I was at this trash truck company, I began getting deductions from my check. You know, child support deductions from my paycheck. And, you know, we wound up going back up to, me and my wife, my woman, wound up going right back up to the child support agency a second time. And this particular time, you know, it was to more so get a clean cut idea of how many payments need to be made, what needs to be paid, until it was all you know, done and situated. Because I never been on child support before that. I didn't know nothing about it. This overweight white bitch was encouraging my woman in front of me to go ahead and put in a full order in front of me, enticing her, telling her, because they went into the Virginia Employment Commission, and this is what they do, is they go into like the quarterly earnings that you have. And keep in mind, you know, I was making a lot more beforehand, before I had got incarcerated, and they pretty much kept that on file through the Virginia Employment Commission, and they did an average of my earnings, and I was towards you know, the 80 to 100,000 mark. So they had the white lady, the overweight white lady who worked for child support enforcement, pretty much was telling my woman, like, you know, if you just go ahead and go through with the order, you could be receiving, you know, just for your one daughter. And I'm looking at this white bitch. I'm like, please, just shut the fuck up. Stop it. You know, and I'm looking at my woman, and she's like, you know, I want to hear it. It sounds interesting. I'm like, oh man, this isn't looking good. You're giving this bitch some leverage here. What's going on? You know, but you know, of course, like I said, the environment there, you know, it's anti-male, you know, it's the system, it's all systemic. You know, so the lady turns around the screen after putting in my information and shows my woman that she can receive the higher end of $800, close to $900 a month, just for my one daughter. And I got angry, man. I didn't want her to show her that. You know, why are you pushing this? Why is the state? They want you to be on child support, brother. They want your woman to do that, because like Kendra D said in the BGS Ibmor video, they receive a percentage of that. You know, they receive a percentage. The state eats off your child support payments, brother. Real talk, you know. But my woman kindly declined for the 10th time, telling her that, you know, this man takes care of his child. He always has been in the picture from the day she was born to this current moment. We just went through a rough spot and I needed help with daycare. You know, that's you know, we pretty much told this lady that for maybe the 10th time. And she finally let down after she had already attempted to auction off child support arrangements on 4B indefinitely for 18 years. You know, she really attempted, she was really pushing this, you know. I'll never forget how that felt. I wanted to punch this lady in her fucking mouth, because it's like, you know, I felt like you know, like an auctioned slave on the slave block, you know. But long story short, I'm gonna continue. As I was working with this trash truck company at that time, you know, long story short, I overpaid it. I overpaid this child support, and I want to let you know that when you enroll in child support, they report it to the credit bureaus and the credit agencies. Upon checking my credit report, even to this day, it reports as derogatory. It reports that has been put in collections. And since that time, I have received refund checks in the mail because of my overpayments. I have received 3 of them because I had actually overpaid the child support order that was forwarded from TANF. It was overpaid. You know, and I still go on my credit report, and it has yet to update even up to 2 years after the fact, which lets you know that not only does the system and the state want to fuck up your pockets, they also want to fuck up your credit. You know, because there's no reason why I should say derogatory when I actually overpaid it. It was never paid late because it was automatically taken out of my paycheck. You see, this is why I'm so against the matriarchy. Because it's the matriarchy and the system that be is literally here to destroy your man. The system that places it supports the matriarchy. It's not made for women to do it alone. Independent black woman or independent woman in general, you know, it's all bullshit. You know, it's all a facade. Feminism is a facade. It's made up. It's make believe because somebody has to flip the bill. You know, things won't be right until it is a patriarchy. You know what I'm saying? It just won't be, because that's the natural order. That's the natural design. But Kendra D, who was referenced on BGS Ibmor channel, you know, spoke on the loophole being that a woman would have to be pregnant to receive any type of benefits without enforcing the child support order. And how this is a stage for the perpetual, you know, baby mama symptoms that we see today in the black community. That's you know, this is all in the chase of female liberation and in the systemic dressing of a matriarchy. It's self-destructing. It is actually designed to destroy the men. And when you have these men who are destroyed by these women whose pretty much backs are pushed against the wall, because the only way she can be liberated, the only way she can be strong and independent, is if she refers to the state. The state makes her strong and independent and liberated and all that good shit. Fucking up my video. God damn. This is a good video, man. The state creates this place for her to be strong, independent, and all that good shit. You know? So mad my phone just rang. It always happens, man. You know, I'm a busy man. Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, I'm pulling up to work. I get a lot of phone calls. By 8 o'clock, my phone starts jumping. That's why I don't make as much content as I can, because it's hard for me to find a quiet moment. You know, sorry about that. But, you know, that kind of really threw me off. I'm pulling up to my job anyway, but that was just my input. You know, on this child support thing after watching the BGS Ibmor video. You know, hosting Kendra D, her content. It was spot on, but it also gives reflection to why the matriarch is failing. Why the single mother epidemic is a failing thing in the black community, because it was never made for this woman to do it alone. You know, and we're watching and we're seeing the intended purposes of it, you know, with the denigration of our race of people. Now our race is wide open. The scriptures tells us, if you want to spoil a house, what do? You bind the strong man. So this child support systemically binds the strong man, so that this nation of people can be wide the fuck open, you know. And now we see a lot of these women, getting fucked up out here because they don't have a covering, you know. However you put it, I look at it as a sellout thing, because I understand the system, but that's the forbidden fruit. The forbidden fruit is the system. Do you have to partake of it? Why not find you a man? Why not just everything go back to patriarchy? Period. That's the only way it will work. A woman will find her man, shut the fuck up, be a good wife, allow that man to provide and take care of her as a real man should. If you are a man and you call yourself a man, if you have a woman who you are dominating and she's under your covering and she is cooperative and in a woman's place, and I think we all know this because this is the traditional role of a man, is to provide, take care of, and fulfill the dutyship of marriage to your woman, which means you got to take care of this hoe, you know what I mean? And that's how it needs to be. But the problem is a lot of these women choose their own spouses, and this day women are no longer given off, but they actually themselves choose, which you would think would be more beneficial to them, because they would choose men who can take care of them and things of this nature, but they don't. They choose quite the opposite, which causes them needing help from the state and further perpetuating the denigration and systemic and economic destruction of the men, which is weakening the nation. We get down into it. The way that this can be fixed, a solution to this is returning to a patriarchal state. We got to return to that. That's the only way it works. There's no other fucking way. The strong black independent, that's not a way. That's a trap. Not only are you going to fuck up your baby father or the man, you're also going to fuck yourself up. Then your kids are going to have less of a fulfilling life. And then your daughters are going to perpetuate the same thing. And your sons don't have a daddy because you wanted to be the custodial parent to receive the systemic crumbs, while the system itself is getting fat off of you. Your sons don't got no man to look up to. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much, I don't think women should be sexually liberated, because it's all a trap that leads to them needing to go to the system because they don't choose good spouses. Back in the old school, back in the old way, a father would give off his daughter to marriage. Before a woman was interested in a man, she would bring that man to her father for his approval. And we still see this in the traditional marriage ceremonies, where a father would walk down his daughter down the aisle. Even though I disagree with the modern day marriage institution for the laws that are there within it, but this is just a reality, And the reason that a father would give his daughter off to marriage, because a father would measure up the man, approve or disapprove of the man in which is taking his daughter off of his hands. Not every man is ready or able to have a woman, provide for her, and to have a family. That's a huge responsibility. And he who finds a wife or a woman finds favor in the eyes of the Lord, because he is now a covering for something. He is now a covering for something and someone, but that's the only solution to me. Women can say, well, our backs are against the wall and we're stuck between a rock and a hard place and we don't have any other options. And what are we supposed to do? You're supposed to keep your fucking legs closed, stay virginal, stay virgins, period. Back in the ancient days, they had chastity belts for these women because they get hot in the ass like dogs. All of them. between the ages of 13 and 16. And many who hold out through that stage, you know, by the time they go to college, they pretty much get turned out to be whores. You know? Like I said, back in the ages, they had chastity belts to keep these women virgins, man, because they had to have something to keep them from having sex. Why? Because they was trying to protect the community. They was trying to protect the integrity of their nation, of people. You understand? People might be like, oh, that's extreme, bro. Chastity belts? No, I'm just saying, this is something that actually factually was in construction, and people were actually using them on their daughters and wives and stuff like that. You know, because we already know that forbidden fruit is gleaming and glistening and looking delicious. The black bitch is going to bite. The woman in general is going to bite. You know, it's her nature. You know, but it is all a trap, and it was a very good video. I watched it on BGS Ibmor channel, Dr. BGS Ibmor, featuring Kendra D. But you know, I thought I'd give my 2 cents on it, being that I had a taste of it. I know there's a lot of brothers who are literally being lynched systemically by this child enforcement program, and you know, we gotta hang in there, brethren, and you know, keep going your own way, and you know, and keep working, and you know, and hopefully things get better, man. Hopefully you make it past that 18-year mark, and you know, hopefully the whole fucking system, you know, eventually just falls and it doesn't exist anymore. Such a thing don't exist anymore, because whatever this white system puts up for us to partake in is to destroy us. You know, so hopefully this destruction doesn't last much longer, brethren. But I do know your pain. I do understand. I had a taste of it myself, and you know, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, cut this one short. Thanks for tuning into the Raw, the Real, and the Red Pill. And sorry about that phone call interruption earlier. You know, pardon that, and I'm kind of pissed off about it. I think otherwise this would have been a pretty clean video, but you know, hey, raw content, baby. It's live. Somewhat live, I guess. But y'all be easy and shalom.